some new information about what he intends to do, or at the very least is not ruling out when he takes office, including not ruling out a military invasion to conquer Greenland, the Panama Canal, and perhaps the annexation of the country of Canada.
Look, to me, the greatest points are that he's looking around our region, our hemisphere, around the world and saying, what would it be in the U.S. interest to do, not to do, to have, not to have? What is in our best interest?
Yeah, but
one other issue, he is also signaling something critical to our enemies around the world. No one respected Joe Biden. No one thought he would do anything. People don't know what Donald Trump might do, and there's value in that.
I'm sorry, but I have to call this out, because at the end of the day, this is the 21st century, okay? And the United States is not running around the world and saying, I must have that, we'll take it, okay? This is not like the colonial era. So are we really in a world in which you are comfortable saying that the United States is now going to be one of those countries that just takes whatever they feel like taking on the map? That's really the worldview.
That's what Russia does. That's what China does.
I don't think that's what
he's saying.
We're supposed to be better than that, Scott.
I think he is saying that he is willing to look around the world and say, what is in the best interest of the United States?
Right.
And we already have a partnership with Greenland, and we already know that they have things that we could benefit from. And this does not have to be a hostile conversation.
What's going on, everyone? So, liberal media is triggered by Donald Trump's press conference, and one of the reasons why the Trump news conference was so triggering for liberals is because he, as you saw from the intro, he highlighted how he wants to take Greenland. Last time I checked, he wanted to buy Greenland. He wanted to take ownership of the Peninsula Canal. He didn't want to rule out that he may use military to do it. And this is what American First is all about. And many disingenuous leftists that I see on X are trying to make this argument is, you guys are looking dumb. You voted for Donald Trump to lower prices, and instead he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is what you voted for? And this is the kind of tactics that I can't stand from the left. The left keep trying to make this argument that somehow we regret voting for Donald Trump. America first means America first. We want someone to operate in our best interest. What's in the best interest? Is the best interest of America not to take Greenland, or it is to take Greenland? You can answer your own questions, leftists. But I like how the left don't want to highlight things that he did announce during his news conference. Trump announced $20 billion investment from DMAC for U.S. data centers. And guess what these U.S. data centers are going to be? In rural America, which has higher poverty rates than many liberal cities. Why is that? Why is that? Because there's limited job opportunities in rural America. I believe the data centers are going to be built in Oklahoma. Actually, let me not, because I want to highlight this, because the left wants to only want to highlight stuff that they think is irrational. Oh, you just want to rename Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. But the substantive stuff they want to ignore. And this is what we care about. This is what many people care about. Hey, you want to help the job numbers? Hey, you want to build a better economy? We want America to attract investment into our country. Because for too long, America's been investing in other people's economies. We scratch other people's back, but they don't want to scratch ours. They don't want to invest in our economy. They don't want to invest in our land. Let's hear about it. Trump said that company may go double or even somewhat more than double that of the multi-billion-dollar deal. On Tuesday's press conference from Mar-a-Lago, Trump announced that DMAC, an Emirati, I'm a butcher, guys, my bad, company headed by Hassan Sowani, would be investing at least $20 billion in the U.S. to build data centers. Trump said the company may go double, even somewhat double than that, multi-billion-dollar deal. The massive data center will be located across the Midwest and the Sun Belt. He's trying to bring industry back. If he can bring manufacturing back, and then on top of that, add the data centers, which is going to be critical for our technological race against China and all these other countries for AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all that stuff. Data centers will be integral to that. Give the opportunities there. This is equivalent to Trump's opportunity zones. Create an environment where, hey, we want infrastructure to be built in the cities, these countries, to attract businesses there. Those data centers are going to help doing that. This is why rural America, this is why the Midwest and Sun Belt went for Trump. This is what we want. But the left want to keep trying to put up this narrative. Oh, he just want to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is what you voted for? Like, this is the I'm tired of the selective narratives. You guys know on my channel, I'm tired of the narratives. Just give us to us straight up. And what keeps America on the cutting edge of technology and artificial intelligence? The first phrases will be in Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, and Indiana. Here's him making the announcement.
And we're honored to welcome one of the most respected business leaders in the Middle East, indeed the world. He's a founder and chairman of Damac Properties, Hussein Sejwani, very respected gentleman. And I'm thrilled to announce today that Damac will be investing at least $20 billion over a very short period of time into the United States, and they may go double or even somewhat more than double that amount of money. It's a great thing, and I believe he will say that he's doing it because of the fact that he was very inspired by the election. They wouldn't do it without that election, I can tell you. A lot of people.
Yeah. So you get the sense of what's going on here. So here's Hassan Sagawani. I just heard Trump say it and I already messed it up. For the last 4 years, we have been waiting for this moment, and we're planning to invest $20 billion and even more if the opportunity and the market allows us. And this is what we want. We want someone to come in and bring industry into our country to help our citizens be able to work. And what the media wants you to focus on. They don't ask questions about that. Instead, they're focused on, oh, you want to start war with Greenland. You trying to invade Ireland. You trying to take over the Peninsula Canal. Even though Jimmy Carter gave it away for $1, right? We can't buy it back for $1? Like, make it make sense. And this is the kind of stuff that I always see it as, this is just political. How can we have fruitful conversations in our political discourse when you have one side intentionally just trying to paint you as the bad guy? And they keep bringing up January 6th, and I wrote down some bullet points on my board here, right? This is how I keep track of what I want to bring up in the videos. And I want to show you this clip of CNN debating it out about January 6th and how the perception of January 6th should be. And then I'll show you a video of Donald Trump answering a question about him possibly pardoning January 6ers. Let's take a look.
What?
Let's
Okay,
just say
David,
that all those people weren't violent protesters.
I'm going to let you make your point, but I want to pull that video back up that we were just showing, because I want you to make your point, because I think a lot of people share your perspective.
Yeah, those people should go to jail, right?
What we were just showing with the barricades and the officers, those were not officers just letting them.
No, go to the Supreme Court side.
Yeah, I know the video you're talking about.
No, these people should go to jail. The people on the Supreme Court side, however,
they were trespassing.
They were
trespassing.
Okay, listen,
They
there's
still broke the law.
There's a difference between trespassing and physical
I
violence.
know, but don't you think shouldn't they make an
Some
example out of these people, though? Like, this was wrong. They shouldn't be allowed to trespass.
Everybody should not be treated equally. They were violent criminals, right? They shouldn't be treated equally. There are people, these people who are beating the police should go to jail. There's no excuse for it, right? There's no excuse for it. Some of the people on the other,
do you think then those people should get pardons? Should those people
that
get
beat the
pardons?
police? No, shouldn't
the
be
people
pardoned.
that Donald Trump is promising to pardon?
He didn't promise to pardon everybody. He said he's going to promise, he's going to look at it case-by-case basis. Let's just be factual. Those are the words, right? And to be factual, the only person that died on January 6th, there was one person that died. Ashley Babbitt was the only person who was died.
And she was there because Donald Trump
said
his life.
No, wait a minute. If you're
arguing because he didn't die on the 6th, then he passed away on the 7th.
We're talking about who died on January 6th.
That is beyond splitting hairs.
It's not splitting hairs.
Come on.
It's factual.
You don't
There's one person that died.
Why else was she there? She wouldn't have been there that day if Donald Trump didn't spread conspiracy theories about an election that he knew was not stolen.
Again,
and he told those people to go to the Capitol. And so she was there as a result of him telling her to be there.
One person that was killed.
She would not have died if it were for Donald Trump to accept the results
she
of the
would have
election.
died if the police officer didn't wrongfully shoot her. I wish January 6th, listen, I wish the January 6th committee would have done a full investigation for the American people to see and hear. Watch this, and again, don't listen to David Urban, American people. Hold on. Don't listen to American people. Go to the video. It's all New York Times put this out. It's all over YouTube. Watch what happened to Ashley Babbitt.
Looking at this.
It's so funny how the left always project themselves as to being the truth tellers, but really they're some of the most deceitful, conniving people I ever met in my life. And this is coming from a man who grew up in a community where majority of my community are liberals, are Democrats. So I don't want to hear no one in my comment section saying, Kenny, you're unreasonably negatively biased towards liberals. I grew up with liberals all my life. I'm a black man, as you can tell, right? And look at some of the deceptive, right? None of the message, they talking about this was an insurrection, but what they were talking about, property damage, assaulting cops, trespassing. That sound like an insurrection to you? The only victim was a protester. Does that sound like an insurrection to you? Then the lady in the clip, she tried to make the argument, oh, well, a police officer did die, but he just died a day after. So, but it was because of January 6th, making a false association when the police came out with a report and say, no, he died of natural causes. He had a heart attack. But they try to pretend, oh, the stress of dealing with January 6th caused this heart attack. No, you can't. You're making a false a motive. You're applying a false motive of what happened or an intent of what happened. The other lady talking about, oh, Trump knew that he lost the election. You don't know that. Trump in all faith could legitimately believe that he did not lose the election. He thought the election was fraud. Have you found a video of Trump admitting that he lost 2020? No. But here's a reporter in the clip I just showed you trying to infer, trying to pretend that she knows the motive for why Trump did what he did. These people, you guys are so insane, right? This is who we supposed to listen to? AOC falsely believing that I almost got killed in January 6th in the Capitol, and she wasn't even there, trying to play victim. And this is why many people don't give a damn about January 6th anymore, because we know the political game of January 6th. January 6th is the reason why the left don't want us to forget about it, is because they want to continue using it and weaponizing it to demonize their political rivals. That's it. That's the reality. Look, I don't like to BS people. This is the reality. This is how I see it. All this is political. All this is just a little show that the Democrats want to highlight to you. But here's Donald Trump taking questions, and this is going to be about January 6th.
Police officers were injured by rioters on January 6th. Will you pardon anyone who attacked a police officer?
Well, you know, the only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady named Ashley Babbitt. She was killed, and there was actually somebody else that was killed, also a MAGA person, but people don't give it 100% credibility. I'm going to find out about it, and we're going to find out. But Ashley Babbitt was killed. She was shot. Should have never been shot. She was shot for no reason whatsoever. In fact, they say that she was trying to hold back the crowd, and the crowd was made up of a lot of different people, so we'll see. But I will tell you this, the person that was killed was Ashley Babbitt. The other thing is, when they talk, you know, there was never charges of insurrection or anything like that.
Which is something I keep bringing up on the left, right? And I remember I got a lot of ish for it on my Tim Pool video when I said Tim Pool cooked Luke Beasley, because he did cook Luke Beasley. I don't care what my detractors say. And you look at that video, you see all these guys talking, oh, Kenny got zero understanding of what happened, all this stuff. Oh, Tim Pool cooked your brain. And I'm like, yo, y'all calling something an insurrection because you want it to be an insurrection. That's the reality. You call something racist because you want it to be racist. If I say black people commit majority of the crime in this country, and that's just because it's an inconvenient, it's an unflattering truth about the black community, specifically black men, you're gonna call me racist for pointing out something that is true? And this is why I'm saying the leftists believe that perception is reality.
But if there were, this would be the only insurrection in history where people went in as insurrectionists with not one gun, okay? And let me tell you, the people that you're talking about have a lot of guns in their home for hunting and for shooting and for entertainment, a lot of good reasons. But there wasn't one gun that they found. And why didn't they find the bomber, the pipe bomber? You know, they know who the pipe bomber is. The FBI knows who it is.
And that's another January 6th that the left don't like to bring up, that the pipe bomb. But hey, they keep sitting here pretending that, oh my God, it was the worst day in history. Oh my God. Feigning outrage. This is typical of the left. Right? We got more, because this is an important news conference, right? Because it shows you what the reporters care about. Trump laid out something good for the American people. Hey, I was able to attract investment from foreign adversaries to invest in our land. Because for too long, throughout our foreign policy, it's been a one-way relationship. We've been investing in all these companies, protecting all their land. NATO, NATO is still taking advantage of us. Trump pointed this out. What the liberal media talk about? Would you pardon January 6ers? Really? Really? Because they want us to care about January 6th. Nobody cares about January 6th. No one gives a damn about January 6th. I'm just being honest. Since 2022, no one gives a damn about January 6th. And if you don't believe me, look at the election. Who won the popular vote? Donald Trump. The adjudicated insurrectionist. Liberal. Just because you call Donald Trump an insurrectionist doesn't make him an insurrectionist. And this is the problem with liberals. The liberals is the kind of person that will say that, hey, that dog's tail is another leg, therefore the dog has 5 legs. That's liberal logic for you when it comes to the insurrection.
Mr. President, 2 questions related to each other. First, you said on your first day of office you're going to pardon January 6th defendants. Are you planning to pardon those who were charged with violent offenses?
Well, we're looking at it, and we have other people in there. And as you see, I guess 24 or 28 people came now from the FBI. That came out very quietly. Nobody reported it, but they had people in some form related to the FBI. They had 4 or 5 people that were strongly related to the FBI. We have to find out about that. We have to find out about Hezbollah. We have to find out about who exactly was in that whole thing, because people that did some bad things were not prosecuted. You know, I see it all the time, and you see it too. People that were doing some bad things weren't prosecuted, and people that didn't even walk into the building are in jail right now. So we'll be looking at the whole thing, but I'll be making major pardons, yes.
And that in of itself destroys the credibility of January 6th. When many people like me said January 6th was nothing more than political warfare, political lawfare against political supporters of your rival party, leftists gets mad. When Tim Pool doesn't believe anything that Luke Beasley says, oh, what's your sources? What's your sources? Give us some effing data. You can't. All you give us is the government says so, and I trust the government, therefore it's true. Just like just like disinformation expert. Hey, what qualifies you as a disinformation expert? Fake credential. Hey man, I'm just telling you the sentiment of someone who don't give a damn about January 6th. You can keep crying in my comment section, liberal, leftist, about how bad it was. Oh, we can't support people who trying to overthrow our government. Okay, so property damage, assaulting cops, and trespassing is overthrowing our government. BLM did that. I don't hear you calling about them overthrowing the government. Chaz actually overthrew the government, the local government in Seattle, if I remember correctly, where it became an anarchy. It was anarchy in that area, in the Chaz zone. They didn't allow cops in there. They didn't allow any government official in there. It was lawless, a lawless zone. That follows closely to insurrection than what happened in January 6th. I agree with you, Jack. January 6th could be equivalent to a riot. That's why I say, oh yeah, it was a bad riot. Yes, it wasn't a good look for Trump supporters at that day to riot in the Capitol. I agree with you. But to call it an insurrection, how hypocritical of the left. But I digress. This is why liberal media is freaking out over Donald Trump's press conference, news conference. He ain't backing down. He ain't scared. Like, the liberal, and I'm sorry I keep going at liberals today, but I think it's just journalists. Journalists keeps trying to pretend that being on the left is the same as being in the center. No, it's not. You can't make your position the center. You can't make your position where everything revolves around. Oh, we're not in the colonial times anymore. We shouldn't start wars. Oh, this is what Russia do. We're trying to pretend to be better than Russia. No, this is politics. You're not better than anybody. That's how I see politics. I'm very practical when it comes to this stuff. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not going to pretend I'm better than anybody. I know I'm human. I know I can get things wrong. I know I have bias. But where I have a problem is when someone tries to pretend that they don't have bias. When they say, oh, I'm objective. No, that's a spectrum there. You can be more objective than me, less objective than me, but you have a bias. And I think the only trustworthy thing you can do as a political commentator, as a news reporter, is to highlight and be honest about your biases. So that way the viewer has an objective and more honest observation of what the information you're saying. And if you can't give references, I can write it off as merely your interpretation of events. Just like when you got these liberals coming out here talking about, oh, Trump's inheriting a good economy. Good economy where? For who? Who are you talking about? What you talking about? What economy? You talking about this economy? This economy with overinflated job numbers, that economy, this is a good economy to you? 20% inflation, real wages are down. This is a good economy to you, liberal, Democrat? Uh-huh. If it was so good, I guess Kamala would have won. Oh, she didn't. But it keeps trying to tell you it's good. Because end of the day, like I always want to state on this channel, conservatives try to argue based on something they observe in reality. Liberals trying to argue by making you observe something with perception. They're trying to condition your perception so you believe that perception to be reality. And that's what and this is why you see that sometimes conservatives and liberals always talk past each other, because one is just trying to inform, hey, look what's going on here in reality. Here's how we should address it. Being opinionated about an approach that's going on in reality. While liberals try to project a narrative, a perception, and try to make you believe that perception. Trump has not even gotten the ability, the opportunity to enact any of his proposals. But I like what I'm hearing, and I wonder if you guys are doing or liking what you're hearing from Trump as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.